What do investors in New York want with land here in Colorado?
I don't think they want much with the land. It's the water.
Mueller says Water Asset Management has acquired at least 2,500 acres of land for the water rights that come with it. He calls them speculators, betting that as the West gets drier, those with water rights will get richer.
These are folks that have identified the drought as an opportunity to make money.
Water is becoming the new oil as Wall Street investors look to cash in on the ongoing drought in the West. Now, investment firms like Water Asset Management are buying up land near the Colorado River, not because they have any real interest in the land, but because they have interest in controlling the water and also basically controlling how much ranchers in the area can lease the water for. Now, using an incredibly important resource that you need to live, like water, as a commodity that should be traded, something that should be invested in, something to speculate about, is pretty dangerous. But that's the direction that we started heading in back in 2021. And now it's devolving into something even worse. So just how much land has this firm purchased? Take a look.
Your main source of water is the Colorado?
Our only source of water is the Colorado.
So that river is your lifeline. That's it.
That's all we got is that river.
And that river is why someone new bought the land just down the road from his ranch.
Water Asset Management owns that property.
And when you first heard of them, what was your reaction?
Surprise and concern. They are concerning because they're large.
Water Asset Management is a Wall Street investment firm with offices inside this building in New York City. CBS News has learned that in the past 5 years, the company has bought at least $20 million worth of land in western Colorado. Investors in a Manhattan-based firm are now one of the largest landowners in the Grand Valley.
I assume they wouldn't be here if they didn't think there was a lot of money to be made.
I think that's a logical assumption.
That is definitely a logical assumption. And keep in mind that the Colorado River currently provides water to an estimated 40 million Americans. So 40 million Americans are definitely at risk right now because you have Wall Street firms really salivating over doing what investors profit from all the time: scarcity. Scarcity means that the cost of something is gonna go up. And that's when the investors get to cash in. That's when their return on investment really starts to kick in. Let's give you more details. The hedge fund was founded back in 2005. In 2021, its co-founder and president, Matthew Desario, called water in the United States a $1 trillion market opportunity. And can we pause for a second? Because he sees it as a $1 trillion market opportunity. He sees water as a commodity that should be invested in, traded, and all of that, because our government lets it happen. Water, I mean, is anyone gonna disagree that water should be a human right? You need it to live. Having speculators, investors, and Wall Street firms manipulate the price of water, trade water as a commodity, is incredibly stupid and dangerous. And that is the direction, not the direction that we're in. We're already in that path. 3 years ago, in an interview with FinTech TV, the company's president, Desario, said one of his firm's strategies is to profit from water in part by making the farms it buys more efficient and then selling parts of its water rights to other farmers in cities increasingly desperate for the natural resource. And let's also just talk about how disgusting it is that we have a drought that is made worse by the climate emergency that was caused by big business destroying our environment. So we have the drought, which is in part caused by private business looking to make a profit. And then you have investors come in, you have hedge funds come in and make money off the disaster that was created by private businesses. Awesome, that's the way it works. So here's more on how they intend to profit.
Rancher Carrie Donovan is a former Colorado state senator. She's alarmed by the amount of land being bought by investors for water rights.
Scarcity does equal value, right?
She tried to make Colorado's anti-speculation laws stronger, but that effort failed.
Colorado has pretty strong laws on this. You can't move water out of state. You have to use it for a beneficial use. So how do they make money on this?
They'll probably make money because the state will be forced to create a system that doesn't exist right now to allow more flexibility in how a water right is used.
So these private investors may not be buying this under the rules that exist today, but this might be a long-term play.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. In fact, if you look at their website, they even present it as such.
I had a problem with one statement that she made in that video, where she says that the state lawmakers will be forced to create a system that deregulates speculation about water. They're not going to be forced to. They might be bribed to, legally, of course, because of how our disgusting system of government works, how we've legalized corruption and bribery through the euphemism of campaign donations. It's not force. It's a choice that state lawmakers are likely to make because money talks and they will sell out their own constituents, their own ranchers in Colorado, because at the end of the day, all that really matters to them is what's in their campaign coffers and whether or not their political careers can continue. It's not by force. So it's important to know that. Keep in mind again that this is partly a climate-fueled drought in the West, which has depleted water resources like Lake Mead in Nevada, and yes, the Colorado River. So again, private businesses, private entities, fuel a crisis, causes a drought. We get to suffer by that climate emergency on its own. And then to add insult to injury, they get to profit off the climate emergency on top of all the pain and suffering they've created. It's amazing. Climate change is making the West hotter and drier. For every degree the temperature has gone up, the flow of the river has dropped by about 5%, a nearly 20% reduction over the past century. Lake Powell in Arizona and Lake Mead in Nevada, they are at historic lows. They're at just 25% of their full combined capacity. There are real fears that this crucial water supply for the West is on the brink of disaster. So that's from Greg Postel from the Weather Channel. And we might be on the brink of disaster here in the West. But over in New York, over there at Wall Street, those investors like, we love scarcity, we love it. Usually we engage in artificial scarcity. We manufacture scarcity to, raise prices for what people need so our investors can get a good return on their investment. But in this case, climate emergency doing a lot of work for them. This country is so incredibly pathetic in so many different ways. When I hear a politician in the United States talk about corruption in other countries, you gotta laugh. Just because we legalized our corruption doesn't mean that we're better than other corrupt countries. We might be the most corrupt country in the world, considering, again, we have legalized the bribery here. We have legalized the corruption here. Now, there is more going on because this hedge fund wants you to think this is totally fine. Like everyone should just calm down. This is great. This is actually a great opportunity for farmers. They literally said something like that because the argument here is, if the farmers engage in the water speculation themselves, they could also earn some money. Let me give you a quote. "The hysteria is ill-founded," says Lance Coogan, CEO of Velis Water, the London financial firm that created an investment index on which the futures contract is based and designed the contract, which is traded through the Chicago-based CME Group. Just to give you a little bit of background on that, water is now traded as a commodity in the stock market. So that is what is being referred to here. Now, this is doing good. This is doing good, Coogan told me, explaining that the contract's purpose is to give farmers and other major users a way to limit their exposure to price increases. If you're an almond farmer and you've been ravaged by 3 droughts over the last decade, to be able to hedge your price is something you want. You get what they're saying? No, farmers, it's likely that the drought is gonna destroy your farm and your livelihood. So you should invest in water as a commodity, because once it becomes so unaffordable and so expensive for consumers, the value of your shares are gonna go up. You should take that hedge, definitely go for it. But this quote describes the reality perfectly. As clean, usable water is becoming scarcer, the incentives in capitalism work to commodify it and work to ensure that the scarcity is an opportunity to make money. It's the way in which capitalism makes profits from human misery. Let me give you a little more. For instance, in cases where water traders have made bets on scarcity, they could financially benefit from intervening in water distribution to limit access. This kind of abuse took place in Australia's water trading scheme, when officials artificially inflated the price of water for their economic gain. So if you think life in America as a working American is already brutal and incredibly difficult, believe me, the investor class, along with these Wall Street firms, will find a way to make you more miserable. And that's what's happening right now with trading water as a commodity.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.